This video will cover the difference between the input region and the schedule view, the various load types used in the panel schedule and how to apply them, the corresponding National Electrical Code references to these load types, populating the panel schedule, and toggling between the input region and the panel schedule view. This view is the input region where we populate the panel schedule with the information needed to create a panel schedule. You will notice that this panel is defined as a 42 circuit panel. The corresponding input region limits the loads to the first 42 circuits only, which are yellow in color. Circuits 43 to 84 are white and locked to prevent accidentally putting loads in these circuits. This is the panel schedule view, which is copied into AutoCAD or Revit. This view only shows the circuits corresponding to the yellow cells of the input region. By not showing the unused circuits in the panel schedule, we have been able to avoid wasting space on the drawing sheets. There are 36 separate load types. We also have an existing load type. However, existing loads are not entered in this sheet. They are entered in the bus configuration window and will be covered in a separate video. Each of the load types represents a load described in the National Electrical Code with a corresponding demand factor or calculation requirement. The load types are listed on the connected table with a corresponding load type number from 1 to 36. For loads that have an associated demand factor, the NEC reference is listed for convenience. The code reference can also be used to facilitate learning. Since the calculations in the panel schedule are all vector-based, the assumed power factor is provided in the last column of the connected load table. Two of the load types have been divided into a continuous and non-continuous version. General loads is kind of a catch-all for all loads that do not fit into one of the other categories. This is divided into a continuous and non-continuous version. Heating loads are also divided into a continuous and a non-continuous version. Examples would be a tankless instantaneous water heater is considered a non-continuous load, while a tank-type water heater is considered a continuous load. You will also notice that load type 5 is listed as not used. This is because the 2017 NEC and previous versions included a demand factor for hospital lighting. The 2020 NEC removed the demand factor for hospital lighting. To avoid changing the load number for all other loads, we simply changed load type 5 to not used. Load type 35 is non-coincident loads, referring to NEC 220.60. Let's say you have 4 chillers configured in an N+1 configuration, so only 3 chillers will run at a time. It is still appropriate to show all 4 chillers connected to the switchgear. However, we only need to include 3 chillers in the load calculations. Therefore, 3 chillers would be assigned to load type 22, HVAC loads, from Article 440. The 4th chiller would be assigned a load type 35, The loads assigned to the load type 35 show up in the panel schedule, but are not included in the load calculations. Load type 36 is an energy production source. Energy production sources do not get included in the load calculations because they would reduce the overall load on the switchgear. And since they are not always present, we have to ignore these sources in the load calculations. This load type allows the source capacity to be shown in the panel schedule without being included in the load calculations. To populate the panel schedule, start by populating the cells in the load type column using the load types shown along the connected load table. Then enter the description, load VA, breaker rating, and poles. For 2-pole loads and 3-pole loads, enter the breaker rating in the top row and the pole count in the bottom row. Our standard has always been to populate all rows of either 2 or 3-pole circuits with the load description. This is not mandatory. Apply your standards as you see fit. The software will not be impacted by this decision. This is an Excel spreadsheet, and it supports the copy and paste operations within the yellow cells only. Do not use the cut and paste operations. Cut removes all cell formatting, including colors. The cell colors are important to the software, and the cut operation will corrupt the file. Instead, use the copy, then paste, then use the delete operation on the region you wanted to cut. To toggle between the input region and the panel schedule view, click on the toggle input schedule, which will take you to the panel schedule view. Clicking on the toggle button on the ribbon will take you back. This is just a toggle button that toggles you between the two views. This video has covered the difference between the input region and the schedule view, load types used in the panel schedule and how to apply them, the corresponding NEC references to these load types, populating the panel schedule, and toggling between the input region and the panel schedule view. Please refer to the other panel schedule videos in this series for additional information and how to use the panel schedule to take advantage of its full capabilities. Thank you.